Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. The podcast so bad we really just need to take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at Doc Simmons 17. I'll go ahead and give the hot tag to my partner so he can introduce us and himself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the Outlaw Zach Hendricks, and if you love us so much, find us at Country Art Official on Facebook and Instagram, and Country Art Brand on Twitter. And if you're looking for the Outlaw Zach Hendricks alone, look me up at Z Hendricks Brand on all social media platforms. And usually at this point, I would do the pass off to our monster of the group, but he seems to be running late today, so we'll go with the senior official.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ref Perch here at Perch XLV, # for the Ref brand, and Waffles Take It Home podcast.
Yes, waffles all around. Like, share, and subscribe, and eat plenty of waffles.
Waffles.
Lots of waffles. Had some IHOP this weekend, and man, it was so good. I had to turn down the waffle because I went a stack of 2 blueberries, 2 chocolate chip and 1 blueberry pancake.
Oh, mixing it up.
A triple stack, and it was good. Best service, good coffee too. Oh man, it really hit the spot.
Nice.
Since we started this podcast with the waffles, I have not had a waffle yet.
It's like you're not living the gimmick, brother.
To live the brand.
But it was a long weekend. Happy that everybody is safe and made it back in one piece. I apologize if I sneeze all over this. My allergies have been a bitch today. But we'll go ahead and jump right in with Perch's banger of the week. What you got, homie?
Oh man, this week's banger of the week. It came definitely on the ride home from Illinois, passing the Waukegan toll, which is always a good one to remember. And hey, we'll hit it again for the banger of the weeks. Grateful Dead. And this one is not their original song. It's an old tune. It's been done by many people, but Grateful Dead has the version that I listened to, and it's Going Down the Road Feeling Bad. Grateful Dead from I think it was 1989 was the show I was listening to, from December of 89. And man, just a great song, just about life on the road, one show to another. And feeling bad is just kind of metaphorical for you get no sleep, you're doing nothing but work, your body feels like hell, and you're coming back, never felt better, but going down the road feeling bad. Never felt better.
And it's definitely a theme of the past couple of weeks. We have had our bodies beat up, even in all types of weird positions. This has been certainly a rough one for the Take It Home podcast, but we're surviving.
It's the good spirits and the good vibes that make us all feel good, and the good tunes like this week's banger of the week, definitely worth checking out.
Yes, sir. Big Grateful Dead marks over here.
They toured, we're playing music on stages and pioneering for 30, 40 years, at 50 now with the surviving members. And we learn life on the road. So I like to learn from them as well, and hearing their stories, and from those who have traveled the roads that we travel as well, setting up a stage and tearing down. Definitely appreciate the music to get us by.
Yep, definitely soldiers of the same struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Since Gunner isn't here, I figure we'll give him a little bit more time, and we'll go with what have we been watching this week in wrestling, because he's usually not watching much. I'll go ahead and get it started. I did watch the Impact pay-per-view this past Sunday. The great match between Omega and Swan what is it? Dynamite's going to be on by the time we post this. So yeah, Omega wins the Impact World title. It's a great match. I think it just really showed how similar we are in, all stages of wrestling, and still how far away they are from us. Because Rich Swann is definitely gassed in like the last 10 minutes of the match, and you can see that he's moving slower, but everything is still so sharp. and like he hits all his points. He doesn't. Like I say, yeah, the bloat spot was in like the beginning, but like everything was on point at the end when he's completely gassed out and Omega being able to carry and keep the pace. It was just amazing. It was a good match.
Oh, it sounded like it was a good one, and they lived up to the hype and the billing, and like you say, it looks like Omega had the endurance to keep it going. So out of the two, if one was gonna win, it on that given night,
Yeah.
it was gonna be Kenny O.
Yeah. I say that was probably the highlight match of the night. I mean, all the other matches were pretty good. I did miss the Trey and Sammy match and the tag title match, but women's match was real good. Violence by Design showing up with Big Cass was a very good surprise. Yeah, just good wrestling all around. Have been catching up on my New Japan. I'm just convinced Ishii is the MVP of all wrestling and can pull a 4-star match out of anybody. I am not the biggest Yujihiro Takahashi fan, but they freaking tore the house down a couple days ago. Still up on the Dynamites and Elevations, watching Elevation from yesterday right now. So just getting in, being that mark for wrestling that I am, just watching a lot.
Yes, sir.
Why don't we go to Perch? What have you been watching?
Man, the big thing that hit was the news of MLW coming to Vice TV.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that. So that's kind of, upcoming watching, but stay tuned. What a cool outlet for MLW. They've got good people, good crew, and to still have TV that I do right now. Vice is the channel that I get. So be able to press record on that. But MLW or AEW this weekend or this week was pretty damn good. The match I enjoyed was Trent against Penta, and Trent ends up kicking Penta's ass, and they're on the outside. I think he hit him with a DDT or a brain buster, or maybe even a pile driver, and Penta's translator, what's it, Alex
Yeah, I forget his name, but he's awesome.
Yeah, dude, just his ability and the subtle. It's like he's his translator, but I think he liked that, and knowing that going in, it's such an awesome angle, and he plays such a believable. I mean, it's so real. It has me thinking going into this match, is he really translating, or did he get a few in for his own? So, right when Trent is,
the funny thing is, knowing Penta, he is getting a few in on his own, but it's to tone it down from what Penta actually is saying.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And I love it. I'm invested, when it comes to that. So sure enough, he grabs the microphone and he says, "Whoa, wait, Trent, Penta told me to tell you before the match that you suck, your friends suck, and most importantly, your mama sucks."
That's the thing. Country Air and Pentagon are natural enemies. Penta has a lot of your mom jokes.
It was so great. No, I loved it. And sure enough, Trent goes, chasing him around, and all hell breaks loose and turns into a wild match. But oh man, it was so good just to see him cut that moment, and he owned it. It was so good. And yeah, with Pentagon, what a character. I love watching him on TV. Just to have a channel where he's doing his thing. He's a very intriguing character and a phenomenal wrestler. But the other big match from the week was seeing Billy Gunn out there, and he was against QT. And I mean, you know what you're getting. We grew up with Billy Gunn. We know what we want to see as true fans. We love Billy Gunn, And to see him fire up a few times, and QT hits the suck it sign, and Billy Gunn fires up on him, hits suck it right back. Ends up getting punched out by, was it Bowens, comes in and gives him that punch right to the gut.
A go-go.
Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, a go-go, the world-class boxer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And gives him that punch, and poof, takes him out.
I
And,
really appreciate that they're letting him finish people off with body shots.
Oh, me too. And what a heel thing to do. Just a blow right to the gut. And what was it last week on one of the Elevation or Dark? Got to see him again, and yeah, finished people off with that body shot. Just boom.
Yep, love it.
God, that's gotta hurt. I mean, for a real one to hit you in the gut. So
Not comfortable.
him. Yeah. And for an unsuspecting, it's not something you see all the time. So I love that. It's cool. It's cool that they're going with it. But yeah, those were the few things that I remember from throughout the week.
Good.
Certainly did a lot of watching throughout the weekend, but those were live shows.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a bit. We'll get to our weekends in just a bit. All right, Zach, I'll pass it off to you. What have you been watching?
Yes, sir. So, of course, I watched the Impact pay-per-view as well. I'm actually kind of curious to see I don't know if you touched on this, but I'm kind of curious to see tomorrow on AEW what's going to happen with Ref Aubrey. I feel like there's a story there. When Kenny grabbed that chair and she stopped it.
And she grabbed it right back.
Yeah, there's got to be something. Like, I feel like they didn't do that spot for no reason. So I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of that situation where Aubrey was saying, "I want a fair match down the middle. I want a fair." I'm like, hopefully they touch on that. Big fan of that.
God, you got to bring it up. Love the segment when Tony Khan came in with Aubrey. It was like, we're going to bring in our own ref. Who's this? Brian? Oh, yeah. Like, Brian's never messed up a call. What's your last name again?
Yeah. Speaking of Brian in the last name, another thing I've been watching, Gunner sparked my interest. I've been rewatching some Dark Side of the Ring. Last night watched the Montreal Screwjob with good old Earl Hebner. Watched today Bruiser Brody's and the Von Erichs. So been watching a lot of Dark Side of the Ring. NWA Power, the match I was really interested in is love watching Marche Rocket, Matt Cross, and Tyrus. Good match. You can see those chops. You can feel those chops when you watch it on TV. Watched Elevation and Dark as well. So a lot of watching of wrestling. And I think I sent Doc it. I think I sent it to Perch too in our little group chat. I found a clip, old school Impact when Voodoo Kim Mafia, aka the James Gang, aka the New Age Outlaws, were on Impact and were trying to call out Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon for using the DX gimmick on Monday Night Raw at the time.
Yeah. Good old Impact.
Yeah, so just a lot of old school Impact, and of course watching what's on Fight and the pay-per-view. And I thought the pay-per-view was really good. I know we're gonna talk a little bit more. That's our question, the Kenny Omega situation, so I won't touch on too much. But did anyone see the the Slammiversary promo video they posted an hour? I think it was like 10 minutes after the pay-per-view ended.
Yep. With all the faces of people that aren't there.
You want to know which one stuck out to me the most, though?
Which one?
Okada.
Yep.
That one stuck out. To me, there's just a story being told with New Japan, so I want to see how that goes.
Yeah. It does seem like the forbidden deal is Impact in New Japan with since Vin Juice ended up keeping the titles.
Yeah, that was a shock. I was shocked on that one.
Yeah, I didn't think they would drop them, but hey.
I watched the match, but just a nice little roll up at the end. They're going for the Magic Killer, and Juice gets the nice little roll up.
Sometimes that's all you need. Just shoulder.
Oh man, that roll up, the Jungle Boy match against Darby Allin.
Yeah.
hits him with the Last Supper. I was I was saying it because that's one of the he'll hit a roll up combination all the time, and I remember hearing him call the move the Last Supper one time, and it's like, what is that? I want to see him hit that again, and there it is. Months later, he uses it and picks up the win, picks it from his bag of tricks.
Yep.
It had me going. I called for it early in the match. Hopefully we get to see the Last Supper.
That was a good match too. I did watch that. Him and Jungle Boy are definitely future like top guys in AEW.
Yeah.
I also
I
caught. I didn't watch it. I caught results of Raw, and they're going with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle called RK Bro.
Yeah, I did see the little interaction between them backstage that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I always like Randy as the like just tired old vet. I think he
I
played
think
that role
anything
very well.
Randy Orton does is gold.
Yeah, as I'm sure Gunner would agree. All right. Speaking of the one man Riot Squad, he still hasn't showed up, so we'll just go to our next
Okay.
segment and we'll start with Perch again. Let's go ahead and talk about our weekends. I know for you it was a pretty full weekend, so let's get you going first.
Yeah, it was a filled weekend. Started off working Galley Lucha down in Chicago on Friday night, and that was a great show. Um, my first time back there since we worked there when we rented the ring. What is that? A couple years ago now.
Yeah, like 2 years now.
A couple years ago. So, um, yeah, we know some of the people, familiar faces, but never really had a role other than the pre-show. But it certainly had some great moments at Mole de Mayo Fest, and oh my goodness, some memories I'll never forget. So going into the show was looking forward to it, and yeah, ended up having some good matches. The main event was Arez and Gringo Loco in there, who I've been getting to see a little bit more of, and study their style of wrestling. And that's what I really like about the lucha matches the best, to be submerged in that kind of an environment where I don't really know the crowd, what they're saying, but it's pro wrestling. We still speak passion. We still, we still understand the same, body language and emotion. So to understand what happens in the ring and how it translates to the crowd is yeah, the mountain that I climb every time I go into a lucha show. But I love it. I really enjoy it. And being able to work, a main event in a lucha show is wild, because the whole show sets around it. I remember the couple years ago when we were there on the pre-shows, and just seeing the environment that was going on, kind of like a smoky atmosphere, and loud noises and noisemakers, and yeah, it was it was crazy. But it was good. Very cool. Always have to keep your head on a swivel when it comes to those shows. uh, Ended up having Devin, the ref from Zawa. Um, he was the other partner in crime that night, so we tag teamed it as referees, and it went well. At the end of the night, um, Galley asked me if I wanted to come back on Sunday for their show, and I said, yeah, I'm in. So I have my day on Saturday down at AAW,
Yeah.
which was a double show, two tapings, or one taping but one live show. So two full wrestling shows. Yeah, so I got there and helped set up, and getting things situated for the night. Um, a crew of referees now, and kind of being in charge of the whole bunch of us. It's an awesome day at work, for real. I really enjoy it. there's always 100 things that can be done, and I'm always looking to get them done. So it's a tough day, but a very, very rewarding day at the end when I'm able to get things that I want to accomplish. And then it comes to the shows, and yeah, the first show ended up being a main event of Matthew Justice against Fred Yehai, and two good styles. Fred Yehai being a good technical wrestler, but seeing his matches against ACH and being in there, he brings the fight just as well, with every match that he's in. Yeah, if there's one person who knows, how to get the better of someone, it's a guy like Fred Yehai. And the guy he was going against was Matthew Justice, who, he's a fighter, he's a brawler, he's got no pain tolerance. The guy's not gonna give up at all, and he's gonna die trying. And that match was wild. They brought the big fight feel, and it was chaotic outside the ring, and Justice got busted open, bloody face. Fred Yehai was ripping him against the fence and strangling him. I had to get in there and try and break it up. Took a lot out of me as well.
Not the biggest that's out there. We're getting a lot of muscle-bound refs nowadays, and people seem to be upset about that. But situations like that, it wouldn't hurt for you to have a couple more pounds on you.
Yeah, and that's the idea. I could stand to, like Michael Jordan did. He went to the lab and put on some pounds to bulk up, a little extra padding.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking to add a little extra padding to to withstand just a little more endurance. But that's besides the point. But yeah, was good, and ends up with Fred Yehai just ripping Justice's face, just kind of elbowing, and I was looking in the eyes of Justice, and his eyes kind of rolled back, and I called for the bell. That was it, over, done and done. And I in an instant, the fight or flight, and it was hit that bell and rip Fred off. and I went in with everything I had. Just a spur of the moment thing. But it was wild. A cool, crazy ending. That one will come out eventually. I think you can watch it on the AAW on demand. I got hit up the subscription to check it out. But yeah, it was a good main event, and then the rest were shows to follow. I think they'll be airing on Saturdays, which will be cool.
All right, nice.
So I don't know what's all not spoken about, but that was the coolest main event that I've ever worked right there. that was wild. It was like a 20-minute or a 20 plus. It was heavy, but definitely worth checking out. It was cool. Good old fashioned old school pro wrestling fight brawl. And then the next day ended up having Galley Lucha working back to back at the last Sunday at the Berwyn Eagles Club and this Sunday at the Berwyn Eagles Club. This time for Galley Lucha, and they ended up having a big show. And oh yeah, Myron Reed was on the Galley show as well. He was also on the AAW show, and I had a heritage title match with him, and that was a cool one as well, against Braden Lee. But at Galley, one of the coolest matches I've ever had in my life was Myron Reed against Arrow Boy.
Okay.
I've never seen Arrow Boys work before, and encountered, but just a very, very intense back and forth. Similar style like that last one was a brawl. This match was a lucha style brawl. The similar emotion, similar looking to get the better of your opponent by aggression, using aggression in your fighting, in your match style. So it was cool. I want to watch that one back in particular. But yeah, on Sunday to end out the weekend was the final show. I ended up doing the whole show as the ref. Wouldn't you know? Every other time at Berwyn is I get the call to do a show, and every other time there it's I'm reffing the whole show. So maybe it's a part of the culture. But needless to say, there's a job that has to be done, and I get it done. And I absorb a lot of the environment, and to hear, people from a different culture talking after the show, and hearing feedback and stuff. It's cool to experience. It's different, but that's why I like it, because it's a challenge. But one of the coolest things was seeing Ryo, a guy who's been rocking it on the independents as the IOWC or IOCW champion. Um, and that's a guy who we helped set up with ROH back in the day. What was that, 2-3 years ago now? He was part of the crew helping out there. So seeing him in the locker room and having a match with him was awesome. Recognized right away, and said, yeah, it's crazy the places you come from and the places that you'll go, but you'll always see someone down the road when you stick with it, and reinforces loving what we do and keeps that passion burning for doing what we do. So yeah, I think all in all, like 16 matches throughout the weekend, 16, 17 matches with
Heavy load, brother. Heavy load.
hectic ones. But it was wonderful, and plenty of pictures. And Rob Myers was the photographer the one day. We had Nick, um, the camera guy gimmick at AAW. We had Wrestling with Unicorns there the whole time for the trip. Yeah, it was cool. Just cool footage, cool people, uh, great environments, and fun to be back as well and take it all in.
Nice, nice. Yeah, looks like you had fun. Looks like it was very busy. Um, yeah, those AAW tapings have been pretty good. I have watched them like the past couple Saturdays, at least caught some of it. The past couple Saturdays, been enjoying.
Yeah, it's on Twitch too, right?
Yep.
Like
Easily
6 or
accessible.
7 o'clock. Um, yeah, it's a cool setup they have. They do a lot of production for it.
Good stuff. All right. I guess we can go ahead and get into our weekend. Saturday we were at ICW for the 420 Classic. It was 2 shows, a doubleheader. I'll go ahead and talk about the first show. In the first show, it was your homies, Country Air, versus We Hate You Nation in CJ Cole and Fletch Malone. And, because we are fighting champions, this was a tag title match, knowing that we also have a triple threat match in the night show. So definitely came in there full of confidence. And if you were there, you could see why. We put in the work. Seems like Fletch was a little distracted by the crowd being behind us the whole match. But that's to his detriment. CJ doing the best to save his homie, but he gets caught with an air buddies. Zach really showing off the strength, catching him from that handspring elbow and popping him up on his shoulders. It was a sight to behold.
Well, I guess it just comes time and ring presence. No discredit to CJ, but he thought he had you down and out.
Yep.
If you paid attention, you did not crotch yourself. We've learned to avoid that with numerous of occasions before, and it prevailed. It worked out in our favor. We played. I guess we can steal one from the bad guys, and we played a little possum, and it prevailed in our favor, and we ended up defending our titles successfully on the doubleheader.
Yep. First match was great. Shout out to the ICW fans. It was a long day of shows, and the first show was still decently packed. So we love y'all for that. As far as the next show, I'll go ahead and let my beautiful tag partner talk about it.
Yes, sir. We got to open up the 420 Classic, and this was a match that meant a lot for us. For those who watched our promo, yes, we have beaten the 3 teams we wrestled last weekend, but we had a different mission on our mind. You know, when Doc and I first started at ICW, we were single guys. We were single competitors. We jumped in on a rich history of tag wrestling, and we were 2 title defenses away from making history on becoming the longest reigning ICW tag team champions in 15 years. And in doing that, we had to take on Killer Instinct and the Luxurious Ones. But prior to the match, we had some luck in our favor with some tension between Chucky Bates and Gunnar Wakes. A little bit of argument, and Gunnar Wakes delivering a choke slam to his partner, Chucky Bates. I think no longer Killer Instinct.
I
Turning
think
our
not.
match. What's up?
I said, I think not.
No longer a tag. Then turned into a regular tag match, and we had to take on the Luxurious Ones. And you know, we were very prepared for Val Malone's trickery. We were very prepared for Val Malone's involvement. I would say more than anything, JP, being the GM that he was very prepared for Val Malone trying to get involved. And he brought in Urban Assault Team, Jared Jess and Mace Morgan, to be out there and make sure the match got called down the middle fairly. And, you know, Mav and Ethan, they're a great tag team. They're former 2-time ICW tag champs. But when it comes down to it, you can't win by your manager. And we proved that by connecting another Air Buddies and winning that match.
Yep.
A nice 1, 2, 3.
And now we are your longest reigning ICW tag champions. Hip movements all around for this highly visual media that we put out.
Yes, sir. So thank you to all the fans who came out, supported. Thank you for the fans who watch our content and they were there, because after the doubleheader, I had plenty of the fans saying, one more, you guys make history. So for those fans who pay attention, thank you. It shows that what we're doing, even on YouTube, like, means something.
Yep. Couldn't do it without your support. Much thanks to all of you guys for sticking around with us. All right. Still no Gunnar Wicks. We can just go ahead and move on to our next segment. And let's go ahead, since you already kind of previewed it, let's go ahead and talk about what the question I proposed to the group. I was a little late getting to it because I kind of forgot. But the question is, where would you like to see Kenny Omega challenge for his next title? As we touched on earlier, he did win the Impact World title after opening the Forbidden Door. So he is now the AAA Mega Campeon, the AEW World Champion, and the Impact World Champion.
Yes,
I think I will go first. And where I would like to see Kenny challenge next is I would like to see him versus Nick Aldis in the 10 pounds of gold.
there goes my answer.
There really is no wrong answer with this one. It'll be exciting to see where he goes no matter what. But I think as far as a place that could use it to hopefully elevate it in the way that Impact has been elevating since mixing up with AEW, I think NWA should probably be next. I think an easy answer is New Japan, but I think we should save that one for probably the last one.
I have a different answer for the last one.
But yeah, okay. Well, let's go ahead and go on to you. My answer was Nick Aldis. How about you, brother?
We'll start off. Yes, I would like to see Kenny Omega challenge Nick Aldis next for the NWA Heavyweight Championship for the 10 pounds of gold. And then I would like, during the time that Omega takes on Aldis, and yes, I would like Omega to win the 10 pounds of gold. I would like Ibushi to win back his heavyweight championship at New Japan and get the Ibushi versus Omega match for the belt. And of course, yes, I want Omega to go over. And I want to finish off at the Forbidden Door, not WWE. I want him to go to Ring of Honor with all that gold. And rather the champions, Roosh or whoever it is, I want him to finish his belt collecting in Ring of Honor.
Okay. See, I mean, I definitely think they're going to put the belt back on Ibushi at some point, and I think that is definitely a story that it's just so easy to tell with him versus Ibushi. I do think it's been interesting that Ibushi, since losing the title, hasn't been on a New Japan show. So
I just wanted to because I feel like everyone like the storyline is Ibushi and Omega. And I think everyone thinks like Ibushi's gonna be the one to stop it. And I just think how great would that be if he stopped it? And everyone thinks like he's collected it all, and like they have like we could tell AEW's had that New Japan like New Japan, Impact, AEW, NWA have all been AAA have all been crossing over so much just to have like Ring of Honor finally get that crossover would be nice.
yeah. No, I think you're right. That's not a bad one. Like I said, there's definitely no wrong answers with this one. I think anywhere he goes would be very interesting. But let's hear from our senior official and see who he would like to see Omega go up against.
Well, this would very much be hypothetically speaking, because there's a big what if in this factor. But what if the scene we saw at the Collective when Jon Moxley went face to face with Nick Gage in the center of the ring after Nick Gage won that GCW title? It was an epic moment, an epic night. It was a crowd that was there going bananas. Now, what if Jon Moxley were to take on Nick Gage? And I would never bet against Nick Gage ever. But I also wouldn't bet against Jon Moxley. Moxley gets the GCW title. By the time he and Kenny Omega meet up again, maybe they put that title on the line and Moxley smacks Kenny Omega in the face and beats him or wins or whatever. But the story going into it would be great to see. So that's a hypothetical what if, but it would be two stories commingling with the independents and the major leagues at the same time.
Hey,
that's my world. Yeah. It's my wrestling ring with my action figures, and well, damn it, that's happening too.
Yeah. No, this is fantasy booking, at its finest. I definitely could see not necessarily Moxley, but somebody that is definitely AAW, like an AAW guy, challenging for the GCW title, only because AEW seems to have no problem using a lot of GCW guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if in some way that gets mixed up. But that could definitely be interesting. To see Moxley go off, win a world title somewhere else, and then take his back. Would be fun.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. And the whole Moxley storyline is just anything he's doing is great, entertaining. And Kenny Omega is just the ultimate heel right now. I love it. It can't go wrong any which way.
Yeah, Kenny has definitely been a great heel. Definitely probably prefer his heel stuff to his face stuff. He's just a good shithead.
Yeah, it goes back to last week. They ran the monster truck into Kenny's truck.
Yeah.
They weren't into it because you just want to see him get his shit destroyed.
He always just seems to weasel his way out.
He does do a good job of getting his ass kicked though too when the time's right. A great modern day heel.
Good stuff. Okay. Well, we can just keep it on moseying by and go ahead and get into our second to last segment, what we have coming up this weekend. Pretty much, I'm not sure about Perch, but I know it's a busy weekend for myself and Zach Hendricks. On Friday, we have Frozen Tundra Wrestling up in Waterloo. I will be challenging Juan Hernandez for the Cruiserweight Cup. Our last singles meeting was actually in the finals for that Cruiserweight Cup, where I came up short, and I plan to rectify that. We've met a couple times, of course, being Milwaukee guys, always tear the house down, and I expect Friday to be no different, except I come up with a W. I get the 1, 2, 3. It'll be a nice, very pretty liquid sword to the face. And then on Saturday, Country Air will be making his return to the Turner Ballroom down there in Milwaukee for Zello Pro as we get our rematch against the Bang Bros. Been really looking forward to this one. Don't think they beat us definitively last time. I think that match could have gone either way. And I'll be very excited to prove to all of our fans in Milwaukee why we are one of the best tag teams in the Midwest right now.
I agree, but not just in the Midwest, in the country.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell them about your weekend, number one outlaw in the country?
Yes, sir. There's a reason. First of all, like I said, we're the best tag team. We're one of the best tag teams in the country, hence Country Air. But yeah, so Saturday, Zello Pro, tearing it up in Turner Hall with Bang Bros. But before then, I had the honor to wrestle a man I've been wanting to wrestle since I started, a guy I've been talked to about a lot. I will be defending the 151 World Heavyweight Championship against Rough Crossing at FTW. A man who everyone knows is one of the guys in the state. He's so good, very, very physical when he needs to be, and I hope he brings it because I'm gonna be just as physical. So FTW Friday night main event. Your mama's favorite outlaw taking on Rough Crossing.
Yep, Rough Daddy. That should be a banger of a match.
Rough Daddy versus mama's favorite outlaw.
Yep. Okay.
And Perch.
We got like you said before, Zello Pro coming up, Turner Hall Saturday night. Wrestling back at Turner Hall, always very nostalgic. Seeing Ring of Honor there back in the day, performing there for Zello and Mondo Lucha, just a AAW, just a great venue, great place, a lot of history. You can see the UWM Panther Arena from the window, right where Stone Cold made that infamous promo. It always holds a lot of respect to Turner Hall in the history that it has. Really looking forward to that show coming up on Saturday, and looking at the card, I think it's going to be a banger.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. It will be. I think they've announced like 6 or 7 matches.
I think there's 8 total with the recent matchup: Trevor Outlaw versus Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think it's a main event ladder match to crown the first ever Zello Pro champion.
Yep, 6-way dance on a ladder.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of ladder match reffing, but
we were there when
very
they
scary.
presented the heavyweight title.
Yep.
We all three were there at Turner Hall when they first presented that Zello Pro Heavyweight Championship, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, it's a beauty of a title. I've had the rare privilege to have hold that title once in my hands, but that was rare. Just a random. It was official business. It's a beauty. I can attest that it's a beauty, and it's going to be on the line at Turner Hall Ballroom.
It is certainly one
This
of the prettiest titles I've seen.
Yeah, it's a beauty and heavy too. I hope that ceiling doesn't come down.
Yeah, a little bit of an older building. We'll see how that goes.
I bet they're gonna have something where it's hanging from. We'll cross that bridge when we come to
Yeah,
it.
it's probably gonna be your responsibility, so you should figure that
Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna worry about
out. I can put that juju out there.
it. Yeah, I can't wait though.
All right. Yep. Is that all you got, Perch?
Yeah, and then a little rest and relaxation and get the body right, get the voice right. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, same here. Definitely try to get that body right. Feeling beat up all over.
The 2s and 3s weekends are a lot nowadays. So coming around with the 1, ooh, I'm all right with that.
Certainly, certainly. But we shall be on the grind this week.
Hell yeah.
All right. Okay. Zach, if you have a question, we can go ahead and make that the last segment.
All right, yeah, I can come up with one. I guess I'll just piggyback off your question with the Kenny Omega, and that is, who would you like to see end the belt collector Kenny Omega's reigns?
I mean, after he have, or who do I want to take each belt, or who do I want him to be like the first
Who's the
lost?
person you want to see? Yeah, like any belt, any person, but like after Kenny's done whatever he's going to be doing in the future, because you could tell it's just the beginning. Like, who's the first guy to take a belt off Kenny Omega? That's a pretty fire question.
So my answer would be, I don't know if he could stay off TV for this long, but if down the line Samoa Joe came back to Impact and took the Impact World title off Kenny, I think I would really enjoy that.
All right, I like that. How about you, Perch?
Um, yeah. As far as it goes, I wouldn't mind seeing Ray Phoenix take him on, and take that AAA championship off of them. Either Phoenix or Pentagon.
I like that. I guess my answer would be, like, since this is just dream scenarios, hopefully by the time Omega's doing what he does, I know it sounds bad, but I'd like to see Aleister Black leave WWE and debut of a black mask to the face of Omega and take the belt and show everyone like how good he has come back as Tommy End and end the reigns of Omega.
Little play on words.
Yes, sir. We're learning the podcast.
Yep. I definitely would like, Aleister Black, Tommy in to have more opportunities. It looks like they put some money into the promo he did this past week. So hopefully that's a sign of positive things to come. But yeah, if he ended up in AEW and took a belt off of Kenny, I would love that as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I think that's about it, fellas, unless anybody else has something they want to bring up and talk about.
It's good to have pro wrestling back, just to have the passion back, to have fans back, to have shows back, weekends back. Wrestling is thriving, and I can't wait for the future ahead.
Yep. As people get vaccinated up, we're seeing these crowds these buildings start to allow more people in. So it feels good to have things slowly but surely returning to normal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well then,
But
what's
on
up?
top of that, for those who listen and are loyal to the podcast, if you can, I know it's a weird time, life's weird, but with pro wrestling being back, we need the fans back. So go out and support your local wrestling indie scene.
Yes. Yes. If you are lucky enough for an indie show isn't that far from you, please go and watch. There's lots of amazing talent out there besides what you see on TV.
And of course, if you love us, make sure you cheer for us three, including Gunner Wicks, and let promotions know
That you want to see us there. Yep. Let your local promotion know that you want to see Referee Dan Perch, the Outlaw Zach Hendricks, the Gahote Doc Simmons, the one-man Riot Squad, Gunnar Wicks.
And I guess the luxurious ones. if you
Yeah,
like
we
them.
can go the Ace of Diamonds, Mav Boone, and luxurious ones, Baxter Belafonte. But on that note, fellas, I think we can go ahead and take it home. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.